Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to another episode of our SWE Universe Mode. We are back with our last episode of Mayhem before our next Mayhem pay-per-view, which is looking pretty damn awesome, I must say myself. Live from Kansas City somewhere. Where's Kansas? And here is our opening match of the evening. It's been a good run over the last few days for Goldberg. If you've not seen our specials, definitely check them out. But tonight he gets a chance to continue that good run as he takes on Booker T. Now, win here for Goldberg. He's had a pretty good run recently. He had a very backward start, didn't he, to the Universe Mode. He was pretty low down, and I think it's taken him a bit of a time to sort of pick himself up and gain some ranking points. That's what he needed to do, and that's what he's doing now. He's doing that. He's picking up some ranking points, picking up some momentum, and who knows, from absolutely nowhere, Goldberg could have a good run with us this year, which I was hoping for, because I do like Goldberg. As I said before, that was the sort of time where I was watching wrestling and so forth, and starting to watch WWE and WCW a bit more. Starting to delve into WCW, because I was always WWE when I was younger. When WCW finally started watching some of their stuff, it was always Goldberg. I was at that sort of age where I really fell into the Goldberg hype, and that sort of sticks with you for a while. And I wanted to see good things from Goldberg, but Season 2 he was diabolical, really, and now he has had a chance. He's built himself up quite a bit, and I feel like he could be due a good run, which I like the look of. I think he suits the top end of this roster pretty well, with the likes of, I don't know, Randy Orton, Diesel, Sid Vicious, or Psycho Sid, whatever you want to call him, Undertaker, Batista, Triple H, Kane, Savage, Razor Ramon, Sting, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. Goldberg really adds a great extra sort of chunk into that main event picture. Someone a little bit different, someone a little bit more intense. And I feel like actually Goldberg versus Batista would be a pretty nice feud, actually. I like the look of that. Goldberg versus Batista. Talking of Batista, your main event here this evening will be a Mayhem #1 contendership match. The winner of that one will go on to face off against The Rock at our next Mayhem pay-per-view called Hollywood Heat. And that is going to be between Triple H and Batista. So of course Hollywood Heat, because the show is going to be live from Hollywood. And of course it is The Rock. Pay-per-view's looking pretty good, actually. We've got Bret Hart versus Randy Savage. We've got Asuka versus Ivelisse. Legion of Doom versus Demolition. So some pretty good matches for that one. And then here comes Booker T. We've got some really good matches tonight, actually. We're going to see Finn Balor's next match in his run against some of the top guys that wrestling has to offer. We're going to see Randy Orton in action once again. The last couple of weeks, Orton's defeated Larry Zbyszko, who's primarily from the 70s. Jim Neidhart, primarily from the 80s. And now he's going to get an opportunity to take on the Godfather tonight. It's primarily the 90s, really, I suppose, if you look at it that way. We also have for you Psycho Sid versus Diesel, and that is going to be a jackknife match. So the first person to hit a jackknife powerbomb on their opponent wins that one. And then, of course, well, Goldberg versus Booker T, which you're looking at right now, a proper WCW style match. We'll have to do that as another special at some point. Just do like a Nitro, like a special. I think that'd be pretty cool, actually. For live from the Nitro Arena, would do like a WCW themed show. I quite like the specials. I was saying this the other day, wasn't I? I quite like the specials. I think it just adds something a little bit different into the Universe Mode. It gives a little bit of an opportunity to just try some matches that we wouldn't normally get, because if people are spread around on different rosters, for example, we had the other day on like our Seasons Beatings pay-per-view, or even the Monday Night Wars pay-per-view, we had matches that you would not see normally in the Universe Mode, because the guys are on different rosters. And I like it. It just gives us a theme to a show as well. And it means by utilising certain themes, it means we can utilise certain people that probably wouldn't get much of a chance as well. Like I said, we do plan on maybe doing some sort of classic special at some point. And that could include people like Larry Zbyszko. People that don't often get an opportunity to show what they can do normally. Nice reverse suplex there by Booker T. And like I said, this one would be a massive victory for Goldberg to continue his run, continue his momentum, and continue getting him up that rankings and looking towards a championship match. But Booker T, he's had a couple of losses over the last few weeks as well, and I think he'll be desperate to try and pick himself up and get himself a push into well, a main event picture himself. Of course, he's part of a tag team alongside Stevie Ray. Of course, Harlem Heat in this year's game. And they're okay. They had a tag team championship match at the pay-per-view. Come out on the losing side against Legion of Doom, but I think that could happen to quite a lot of people, to be honest. Legion of Doom are a very, very effective tag team on this game. Goldberg now dragging Booker away from the ropes. And a big kick right in the spine there by Goldberg on Booker T. Goldberg in with a pin. Only a 1 count. Booker kicking out. Booker now stiff right hand right in the gut of Goldberg. And a nice spinning heel kick there by Booker T. Booker clubbing blow against the back of Goldberg twice. Now bringing Goldberg back up to his feet. What's Booker looking for? Booker, you're in the wrong match, mate. The jackknife match is later on tonight. Now dropping Goldberg face first across that top rope. Snake eyes. And a running knee strike in the corner as well. And Booker T's in firm control of this match at this point in time. I'm surprised. To be honest, I really thought that that Goldberg would be dominant in this one. But Booker T really seems to have caught him unawares. Goldberg avoiding the drop kick in the back and then hitting a belly-to-belly suplex. There's the pin. Only a 1 count. His elbows there right in the shoulder by Goldberg. Trying to bring Booker back up, but Booker tripping Goldberg over. Booker right hand in the gut now into a massive spine buster. And Booker T now stalking Goldberg. The boot in the gut, followed up by the scissor kick. This could be massive. There's the pin. 1, 2. Oh, and Goldberg kicked out. Wow. Wow, indeedy do. Oh, Goldberg now grasping Booker T by the throat. Oh, into a big spine buster of his own. I thought Booker T might have reversed it into a DDT then for a second. And Goldberg with a spear on Booker T. There's the pin. 1, 2. And Booker T kicks out. Goldberg now cycling himself up, headbutting that top rope. And before stalking Booker T. The spear was pretty close. But I dare say the jackhammer should be enough. 1, 2, and 3. And Goldberg continues his good reign of form and gets some more points. Nice. That's what I want to see. Some more ranking points for Goldberg. He must have earned about 30 odd ranking points over the last 2 weeks, which has taken him from joint 1 from bottom to well into the top half now. And if he can continue this run, it's just going to get better and better and better for him. Which he should do, really. I think he's defeated... I think on normal shows he's defeated Booker T and he's defeated Roman Reigns now. But in specials, of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H. He's doing really, really well as Goldberg. And I'm really happy. Like I said, I really want to see him push on and show us exactly what he can do. And he's really showing to us that he is one of the best out there and one of the best in Mayhem. And potentially a full Mayhem champion. And here is our next match of the evening. It is going to be that finisher match that I mentioned earlier on. The first person to hit the powerbomb on the opponent will win. I hope it is. I'm just worried now. Yeah, they both do have a powerbomb as a finisher, don't they? I'm sure they do. You watch it be my luck. Someone will hit a choke slam with it when the match you watch. But yeah, an interesting one. It's an interesting one because I actually remember this match when I was very young. I remember this match actually happening on Nitro. I'm sure I do. I'm sure there was a jackknife match between, at the time, Kevin Nash, of course, and Psycho Sid, or Sid Vicious at the time. So this is probably the retro version, because Psycho Sid was, of course, the early 90s WWE, as was Diesel. Whereas, of course, Kevin Nash and Sid Vicious were late 90s over in WCW. So this would be an interesting match. I think two big guys, both in desperate need of points. I've realised, actually, after updating the rankings recently, that both Diesel and Razor have been on an absolute free fall recently with the rankings. And I feel like they do need to do something to really pick themselves up. And this could be the start for them. Razor, I think Razor might actually be bottom. I think Razor's one from bottom of the rankings now, I think. I've still got a couple of little bits to update, I think, on the Mayhem rankings, but I don't think that should affect Razor and Diesel too much. Unless somebody drops underneath them. Have a look. Right, yeah. Yeah, Razor Ramon is 3 points off the bottom. The only person below him is Larry Zbyszko. Psycho Sid also sat there on 85. So basically at the moment Razor Ramon's on 68, Psycho Sid on 85. And Diesel is on 93. So Diesel's obviously a lot better off than anyone else, but still I'm just shocked at what I'm seeing now, why they're so low, to be honest. It's going to take Razor a good few victories to pick himself up out of that. It really is. I don't know if there's going to be enough time for him to do so, to be honest. He's not scheduled in for a match yet, so yeah, I think we need to. That's what I've been doing. I have to work Peter Toby when he does his cards, because if you've watched my Octane shows, you'll see that what I've been doing is I've been trying to take some of the guys that are at the bottom that shouldn't be there and build them up, give them a few squash matches as such, and really just build them up to a point where we can rely on them. But at the moment, Razor just feels like every match you put Razor in, he's just going to bloody lose it at this point in time. He really is struggling. This Psycho Sid's hair, it looks like it's just a picture, isn't it? It's just a smooth texture with just a picture of some hair on it. So this one should be a good one. I'm enjoying this. I'm looking forward to this one. Two big, strong men. Neither of them are going to want to give up. And to win, one of them has to powerbomb the other. And the bell goes and we are underway. Nice boot right in the spine, and Diesel is taking early control. So basically both these guys need the points really. If you're a top wrestler, you definitely want to be over the 100 mark, because the 100 mark's where everyone started. So basically anyone under 100 has had more losses than wins, basically. Simple as that. Anyone over 100 has had more wins than losses. So you really don't want to be that low down. Larry Zbyszko down on 65 points is a pretty disappointing one, really. Maybe we'll have to try and bring in some more jobbers. Who is, just out of interest from you guys, if you think back, who would you say are the classic jobbers? I've never been one for having jobbers, but I do feel like we need them. Just to try and move some of the people around that we need to improve. So, James Ellsworth is a possibility, someone we could bring in. We've got Kurt Hawkins as well. Noam Dar is being treated as a jobber at the moment over on some shows. Not on purpose, he just seems to have picked up quite a lot of losses. So I think it's yeah, it's tricky. I think we can probably improve it somewhere. Yeah, if you guys in the comments, let me know who you think is like a classic jobber we could bring in. Maybe we can try and get Layla Bates and just call her Blue Pants and use her as a female jobber. Because I was tempted before, wasn't I, just to bring in some jobbers and have them just spread around the different shows. We've got Bo Dallas I've been using as a jobber over in Carnage, really. Brutus Beefcake and Greg Valentine have been using as jobbers as such. So yeah, it'd be interesting if there are any jobbers out there you can think of. Like, I think for PJ Toe we're gonna need some retro jobbers for Mayhem. The likes of like the Brooklyn Brawler or something like that. Oh, Nash is stalking Psycho Sid here. If Nash can pull this off, he's got him in. Can Nash take him up? He does. And he lands it. There we go. That's the jackknife. And Diesel, I keep calling him Nash. Diesel gets the victory and he gets the important 5 points in the rankings. That's going to put Diesel up to 98 points now. So he's still underneath that, that level. He's still at a minus, but that's a very important victory that is for him. There was the jackknife. There was the victory. And Diesel gets the points. Good old Diesel. Big Daddy Cool. Big Daddy Cool. Well, that was very important. Where's my... There it is. So I'm clicking to try and get back onto my rankings. Yeah, he needed that a lot, didn't he, old Diesel? He's so far behind some of the other guys. So far behind. So we need to build him up a bit more still. And here is our next match of the evening. It is going to be the Godfather taking on Randy Orton. Randy continuing to work his way through the ages, it seems like, at the moment, doesn't it? Of course, he defeated Larry Zbyszko a couple of weeks ago, defeating Jim Neidhart last week, and now getting a chance to have a go at one of the guys from the 90s. And I don't think I've seen the Godfather yet this year. Has he got the ladies with him? I know you could turn the ladies off on last year's game. Yeah, it looks like they are going to be coming out, aren't they? There they are. 2 generic cores. Well, ironically, look better than some of the female wrestlers do on this game, I must say. Good old Godfather, eh? I'm not surprised they had to change that gimmick in the end. I don't know. It's not an offensive gimmick as well. He's essentially a pimp, isn't he? I don't think that's really something that WWE really wanted to push. The fact that they had a pimp on the game, but there you go. There you go. It is what it is. I just look at this, I'm just stunned half the time watching half of this, to be honest. It really does, catch me out sometimes, it really does. But there you go. So the Godfather, let's see if... Oh, he's got his mic up, he's got a mic, let's see what he's got to say. I don't think I got a word of that. I tried to turn my TV up a bit so I could hear it, but it was really, really, really quiet compared to the crowd noise. There he is then, Kama Mustafa. What a gimmick change that was. Kama Mustafa from the Nation of Domination to the Godfather. That was a real change in character, wasn't it, over a short period of time. And then here comes Randy Orton. He's been building himself up the last couple of weeks, just the same as, like I was saying about Diesel and that struggling. Randy Orton is also struggling. He's done better. I think the 2 wins over the past 2 weeks have really helped him out because he was down on 85 ranking points as well. Same as Psycho Sid was. Of course, Psycho Sid's dropped now to 80. But those 2 wins in the last 2 weeks has pushed Randy Orton up to the 95 mark. And he knows if he wins here this evening, he'll be back up to 100, which is that big number you want to be on. The big number that means that you have either equal losses and draws. Equal losses and draws? Equal losses and wins so far in this universe mode. Godfather's currently on 100 because he hasn't wrestled. How? Hang on a minute, I've just noticed that I've missed one. How have I done that? Right, I'm going to just change that while I recognise it. So I just look at the rankings in front of me and I realised I've not changed someone's ranking points. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong screen now. Now I'm looking at the actual blog itself. So Randy Orton then Fez press there, straight out the bat on the Godfather. And of course, we've seen the last couple of weeks, Randy Orton has really shown that he is not being paid by the hour. He has demolished people incredibly quickly. And it looks like he's doing exactly the same thing here with the Godfather, not giving him any chance to even move or even breathe. Randy showing his dominant side. Randy snap suplex on the Godfather. Stamping on the back, and now Randy picking the individual body parts apart here. And oh my god, is it actually going to be... How... He's done it again. There's the RKO. 1, 2, and 3. And Randy, man. Wow. Another squash. 3 squashes in 3 weeks for Randy Orton. He has taken the history apart. He's reclaiming the Legend Killer moniker here in Mayhem. Of course, he's much younger gimmick. He was the Legend Killer. He's defeated some very interesting opposition. Larry Zbyszko, who made his trade in the 70s. Jim Neidhart, primarily in the 80s. And now the Godfather, a strong competitor from the 90s. What can we do with Randy Orton? What's PJ Toby want to do with Randy Orton? He's now back up to 100 ranking points. So he's in the area he should be. But what is next for Randy Orton? On this sort of run of form, PJ Toby is going to have to consider something for him. And here is our next match of the evening. It, of course, is going to be the continuation of Finn Balor's efforts to prove himself to both PJ Toby and, of course, our Mayhem general manager, Daniel Bryan, about he deserves to be in the main event picture, not an afterthought, not someone who is in the television championship picture, and that's the best we can get out of him. So Finn, over the past 3 weeks, has defeated Mankind, defeated Sting, and defeated Kane. And now this evening, as you can see on your screens right now, the Demon takes on the Undertaker. The Demon versus the Phenom. And this will probably be, well, surely be Finn Balor's biggest challenge. No offense to the likes of Mankind, Sting, and Kane, but Undertaker's just a step up in my opinion. I wouldn't say a massive step up, don't get me wrong. He's not, we're not going to completely sell the other 3 guys down the river, especially with Kane, because we've got classic Kane from the 90s, so he's a much higher rated version. Current day Kane is not quite as highly rated as classic day Kane. And of course the Undertaker then making his way to the ring. He needs a victory himself, I suppose, really. Where's he floating around the older rankings? Is he looking good? He is. He's floating around. He's at 120 points so far, so nothing major. But could possibly do with being a little bit higher up, to be honest. I do like the Undertaker. Undertaker was always my favourite when I was younger. And I'd like to see him do a bit more, to be honest. I don't know, I'm sort of stuck in the middle, really. Because I sort of really want to see the Undertaker wrestle again, but at the same time, I don't want to see the Undertaker wrestle in a way that's not very good. Does that make any sense? I only want to see Taker wrestle if he can wrestle well. I don't want him to stick around and end up ruining his history by pushing himself too much. Does that make it... Am I making any sense, or am I just going to be a bit mad? You know what I mean, didn't you? Because there's been so many people over the past... Oh, there he is. Finn Balor rocking an Undertaker looking attire. Bringing out a baseball bat as well here this evening. Wow, Finn Balor. Always a man with an attire for the occasion, isn't he? Of course, we had him on our Christmas Day show as well. Season's beatings. Good old Finn Balor, eh? Good old Finn Balor. I often just go so quiet when I see him because I look at him and I just realise just how amazing he really is. So here we go then. The Undertaker versus Finn Balor. Can Finn continue his run of proving exactly how good he is? And I will say as well, is that he doesn't have to win to continue that run. He could put on a fantastic performance here against The Undertaker and still lose. And in my opinion, it would be so good enough to really prove himself to both Daniel Bryan and PJ Tovey. Taker now slamming Finn arm first into the mat twice. Finn with a nice jaw breaker on Taker. Taker using his strength to just push Finn Balor away. And that's one thing that I haven't seen many people do, is just push Finn Balor over like that. Undertaker taking Finn up into a vertical suplex. Taking out, bringing Finn Balor back up to his feet. And Taker in firm control of Finn here. Taker's dominating. We've not seen anyone dominate Finn like this so far. Taker now just pinching the shoulder. Taker with the pin, one. Only a one count. Taking out just the shoulder of Finn pinched firmly. Taking out, bringing Finn back up to his feet. Can Finn turn this around? Nope. Nope, he can't. He just got choke slammed out of his boots. Why is Finn struggling so much? Come on, Finn. Do any offense. There we go. Finn does break free. Just do any offense, Finn. Nice dragon suplex. Finn, don't taunt. There we go. I'm not trying to show any favoritism towards anyone. I just really want to see Finn do well. I want him to prove himself to everyone. And he potentially could do that here, as he brings Taker out the corner, ready for that shotgun drop kick, which of course we know he normally follows up with. Don't waste your opportunity, Finn. You might not get another one. There we go. He's wasted his opportunities. Undertaker now getting back up to his feet. You had to go for that, Finn. You had your opportunity to go for the coup de grace. Oh, Finn caught Taker there with the... What's it called again? I've forgotten it now. Codebreaker. Now Finn heads up top. Now looks like he's aiming for the coup de grace. Oh, but Taker rolled out the way. And another running codebreaker by Finn Balor. Now, has Finn used up his coup de grace finisher now? Is that how that works? Finn now heading up to the middle rope. Stalking the grounded Undertaker. Stiff dropkick right in the face of Taker. Finn now bringing Taker back up to his feet. Into the corner he goes. Taker taking Finn down. At least now Finn has shown some really good offense in this match. Finn with a pin. 2. Only a 2 count. Finn now is in control. It's taken a bit of time to get there. Taker really dominated the first chunk of the match, but Finn now really showing what he can do. Finn bringing Taker back up to his feet, a boot in the gut, and then into a DDT on the Undertaker. Finn trying to bring Taker up, but Taker playing possum and catching Finn with that stiff clothesline. And now Undertaker is stalking Finn Balor. Takes him up looking for the Tombstone Piledriver. I think Finn missing that coup de grace was the big change in this match. 1. Wow, Finn just kicked out of 1. Finn Balor just kicked out of that tombstone after a 1. But Taker has another one lined up for him straight away. 1. What? Wow, Finn Balor kicking out of another 2 tombstones at a 1. That is freaking insane. Undertaker sending Finn into the corner. Splashes him, now takes him up onto the shoulder. Looking for that snake eyes. And follows up with a running big boot. Into a leg drop. Vintage Undertaker. Taker bringing Finn back up to his feet and has him throttled. There's the choke slam. And now Taker just staring down at Finn, not quite sure what to do. Come on, Taker, it's obvious what you need to do, surely. Taker with the overhand punch, and now just clotheslines Finn Balor to the outside. But that's a wise move or not, I don't think it is, to be honest. I really don't think that is a wise move. Because now you're giving Finn Balor an opportunity to get his breath back and turn this match around, which is exactly what Finn Balor's done on the outside. I can't believe Finn's even still in this, to be honest with you. I really can't, because he's been hit by 2 tombstone pile drivers and still remains in this match, and that just stuns me. It really, really stuns me. Finn now bringing Taker back up to his feet. Sends him back into the ring. Of course, referee is currently at a 6 count. Finn, stiff right hand. Looking for that 19. It's 16 and hits it. 1, 2. Oh, only a 2 count. Finn now stalking the Undertaker. If Finn turns this one around and gets his victory, I'm going to be absolutely stunned here. There's that underhook brainbuster. I think he might have done it, you know. Oh, he's heading up top. Is it going to be a coup de grace? He missed the first. And he hits the second. 1, 2. What? Wow, what have you been smoking, referee? I cannot believe these guys. What are they up to? Finn once again. Another coup de grace. Oh my god. What? Oh my god, the resilience is just out of this world. From both guys. Finn kicked out of 2 tombstone power drivers at a 1. Undertaker's kicked out of 2 coup de grace as well. That's ironically, that was the longest the Taker had Finn down. It wasn't even the most powerful. It's probably one of the weakest moves he'd hit him with when it was really. Taker now bringing Finn back up to his feet. Up on the shoulders, drops him neck first over that top turnbuckle. Dropping a boot on the arm. And now another one as well. Undertaker sending Finn into the corner. Undertaker in firm control of the match at this point in time. What's he going to go for here? What is he going to go for here? Superplex by the Undertaker on Finn Balor. Went for that right hand, but Finn fought it back into a Pele kick. Wow. Finn out of nowhere, the Pele kick. 1, 2, and 3. He's done it. Oh my God. Finn Balor. Finn freaking Balor. The last few weeks, he has proved everything to everyone. Successive victories against Mankind, Sting, Kane, and now The Undertaker. And this match, in my opinion, really showed the best of him that we've seen so far. The resilience shown. Kicking out of 2 tombstone pile drivers, missed his first coup de grace. And then to still come along and win the match, for me, is just insane. I think Finn Balor has definitely proved that he deserves to be main event here on Mayhem. He really does deserve it. However, I do have some breaking news coming from backstage. Finn Balor will have another opponent at our Mayhem pay-per-view, and it's going to be big. There's going to be a big stipulation involved, so don't miss out on that. Finn Balor versus a big opponent at the pay-per-view, and there's a lot at stake in that match. And here we go then. Here is our main event of the evening. It is going to be the #1 contendership for the Mayhem Championship as Batista takes on Triple H. Good times. Good times. And here he is then, the Beast. Is it the Beast? No, the Animal. The Animal. Yeah. Confused myself now. The Beast is Brock Lesnar. The Animal is Batista. The Phenom is The Undertaker. The Demon is Kane. Well, the Demon is actually Finn Balor. The Devil's favourite demon is Kane. Or is that more of a newer thing? I can't remember now. I think it might be more of a newer thing, actually, to be honest. But this should be a very interesting match. And of course, one of these two guys will go on to face off against The Rock at Hollywood Heat for the Mayhem Championship. Live from Hollywood. Hollywood. I don't know if I like Batista or not, to be honest. I do, to a point. But at the same time, I just don't... I'm not 100% sure how I feel about him, to be honest. I feel like he's someone who, again, a bit like some of the other guys that I mentioned before, I don't think I was ever really watching WWE at the time of his peak, so I don't think I really ever got into the hype. I think he has a place. I don't think he wants that place anymore, does he? I think after his last run, I think he was so mismanaged and that sort of stuff that I think that he doesn't really want to be involved again for a while. Especially when he can get as much money as he can just doing acting. It's a bit pointless for him to do it, really, isn't it? But yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting debate that could be had, I suppose, at some point. I think that he was really mismanaged last time. I think the idea sometimes of when they The idea sometimes when they bring these people in and they just sort of give them a run for no, I wouldn't say no reason, but the whole point of that just made no sense to me. It just made no sense to me, like the fact that they brought Batista. I don't think they were meant to. I don't think they were meant to announce it, were they? I think there was a cock up, weren't they? And a few of the guys actually doing the advertising. My mind's gone blank all the time. A few of the guys doing the advertising had already announced that Batista was going to be available for house shows leading up to WrestleMania. And at that point in time, they thought, you know what, it's going to look stupid if we don't, so we're just going to announce him for the Royal Rumble, which was fine. In my opinion, it would have been better if it was a surprise, don't get me wrong. But then just to give him that run up to WrestleMania and Main Event Mania was just... It was so poorly thought out, because you've got... I don't like... the thing is, WrestleMania for me, it has to come with... It always has some legends in there. It has some superstar matches that people that don't watch wrestling very much, or haven't in the previous years, would recognise a big match. And I feel like what's probably the best way to do things is maybe having a dual main event. A bit like what Wrestle Kingdom's got this year in New Japan. You've got your match with your legend in, which is Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega. And then you've also got your match with your current day top wrestlers in, which is going to be your Okada versus Naito for the championship. And then you've got your up-and-comers, which is your Tanahashi... Well, not Tanahashi, right? But faced off against Jay White. That's a big step up for Jay White. And I think that's what they need at WrestleMania. They need to have... Don't get me wrong, that they could have... If they'd done last year what they should have done, which was just leave the championship on Kevin Owens and do Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho at Mania, and do Bobby Lashley, and do Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg without the championship, that would have worked fine for me. But I think the fact that they made that the big championship match, and the thing is, the main problem I think last year was that because Undertaker retired, I think it sort of ruined the WrestleMania in general, because it was such a sad moment at the end. It was a weird one. But we know that Triple H is probably going to have a big match this year, like he always does. I think the rumour has it it's going to be Triple H versus Kurt Angle, which I'd be happy with. Triple H versus Kurt Angle, I'm quite happy with that. As long as it's not for a championship or anything like that. The thing is, that match doesn't need a stipulation. They probably will give it a stipulation. It'll probably be for Angle's job or something like that. But yeah, it doesn't need a stipulation in my mind, but they probably will have one. And I'm hoping they go for... Well, if rumour has it that If rumour has it that Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar is set in stone for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania, that to me would mean that Brock would keep the championship now till Mania and then lose it to Roman, which would then mean that they would have a SmackDown winner of the Royal Rumble, which is likely to be... Well, I'm hoping they go for Nakamura versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. That, for me, would be the dream match. And if they do that, give the belt to... Well, AJ's got the belt now. If AJ holds the belt to Mania and Nakamura wins the Royal Rumble, for me, you've got 3 pretty good matches. I'm quite happy watching Lesnar versus Reigns, I must admit, because for me, the one match that Reigns suits for me is that match against Lesnar. I think those two do have some good chemistry. I just don't think it's going to... I don't think it should main event. I think AJ versus Nakamura should main event. I know it won't, but that's what I think, because I don't think that WrestleMania should go off the air with 100,000 fans booing Roman Reigns as he holds the championship. It should go off the air with that massive pop of either Nakamura or AJ Styles winning the championship. That's my opinion anyway. Anyway, enough random bullshit. Let's get back to the match in question, where Triple H is in control at this point in time against Batista. But Triple H is maybe wasting time here. And he's been caught out. But he isn't able to fight back by the looks of it. He's dropping a few elbows in the face of Batista. Does manage to wrestle his way free into that big spine buster. But Batista getting back up to his feet. Triple H stalking, hooking the arms into the pedigree. Rolling Batista over, there it is. 1, 2, and no, Batista kicking out on the brink of 3. Triple H thought he had this match won there and then. but there's still more left in this one. I think Triple H has lost it a bit now, just choking the ground at Batista. Went for the running axe handle. That's what I'm looking for. Nice overhand there by Triple H. Now into a backbreaker on Batista. And Triple H is still in full control. Oh, spoke too soon. I'll say he's in full control of this match, but now Batista catching Triple H, locking in that sleeper hold, taking him down. Just trying to force all the energy, all the oxygen out of his body. But Triple H managed to roll it through. Those submissions are a weird thing, aren't they, in this game? Because if you lock in a submission, you sort of do some damage, but you always end up on the wrong side of it, because when you get the reversal, you end up, yeah, on the difficult side. And Triple H just seems to be much quicker here than Batista, which is strange. The thing is, this Triple H, this version of Triple H is not the peak version, of course. This is his up-and-coming version. This is his, like, 98 version, wasn't it? I think he's sort of, for me, the 99-2000 was when he really got to his big level. So, yeah, I would expect on paper Batista potentially to win this one, to be honest. I think he's higher rated. There's a super backdrop there by Triple H on Batista. Triple H is struggling here for energy, as he would be when you've just super backdropped a man the size of Batista off the top rope. Triple H now, Batista on his shoulder. Batista managing to fight free. And Batista now taking Triple H up into a backbreaker. Dropping an elbow right in the chest of Triple H as well. Batista really just wrenching the neck now. Big spinebuster by Batista into the pin. 1, 2, 3. He's got it. Wow. Not even a Batista bomb. Just literally the big spinebuster was enough to... I mean, he must have done quite a bit of damage to Triple H already. And there we go. It's The Rock versus... Oh, that actually works really well. The Rock versus Batista at Hollywood Heat. Two former wrestlers that have both gone into acting. Actually, wow. That actually works out really well. I didn't even think of that. Well, that did work well for us, didn't it, really? And I'm surprised. Batista, again, showing incredible resilience. We've seen quite a bit of that here this evening. Triple H hitting Batista with everything he had, including a pedigree. But Batista able to kick out of everything. And then eventually that huge spinebuster by Batista, which I think is a signature. I don't think it's actually his finishing maneuver. Of course, his finishing maneuver is the actual Batista bomb. But that was effective nonetheless. That big spinebuster. But you got to watch that spinebuster. You get taken up in the air. You get slammed down. Now your back hits the ground first, and then your head comes swinging after it and smacks against the mat. So it could easily knock you silly, to be honest. And there we go then. Batista is victorious here, and we are going to see The Rock versus Batista at Hollywood Heat for the Mayhem Championship. It's going to be a good match, that one. We've got Bret Hart versus Randy Savage for the Television Championship. We know Daniel... No, we know Daniel Bryan... Daniel Bryan? What am I looking at here? No, sorry. Shawn Michaels face off against Chris Jericho. The Legion of Doom are taking on Demolition. Asuka's defended here Women's Championship against Eva Lise. And we've got a couple of other spaces that we'll probably fill in as well by the time we get there as well. Just a couple of extra matches to bolster the card out. But there you go. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Of course, if you have, then please do hit a like and, of course, subscribe if you're new around here and you want to see some more. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again in a couple of days' time for our next episode of SWE Octane. Bye.